and being able, to work through our network of over 300 World Trade Centers and work closely with World Trade Centers like Miami really brings a vibrance to our membership, and to the offerings that we have for the companies who are involved with us, that just can't be matched through other organizations. So we're delighted to be here as part of the 24th America's Food and Beverage Show. It's exciting, and I look at this as the first of many, many experiences with the show, and having a growing Irish pavilion where we can showcase really the best in industry on a regular basis through the show and throughout the year. So thank you so much for having us here. The World Trade Center Dublin is very, very proud of the companies who we work with on a daily basis. Ireland, obviously, I think everyone knows, is famous for its food and beverage industry. And it is Ireland's most important Indigenous industry. Ireland does more than 27.5 billion euros every year through the food and beverage industry. And I think what's most exciting about the companies that we work with is the history of these companies and what has brought them to where they are today. Ireland is proud of its quality of product and sustainability, and I think that makes a real difference and resonates with the world and with with the consumers at the consumer end of things. So people buying these products who are really looking for quality and clean food, and a commitment to really being the best, buying the best products out there. And I believe the companies that we're showcasing today are just that. So I will stop talking and let everyone hear from who they really want to hear from. And those are the companies that we have with us today. So I'm gonna ask Anne-Marie to start. Anne-Marie from Feighery's Farm. Anne-Marie Feighery is going to tell us about the farm and her products. So take it away, Anne-Marie, and thanks so much for being here today.
Okay, thank you, Maureen. I'll start first by showing my product here. It's just Irish homegrown beetroot juice. I don't know if you can see the bottle clearly there now. It comes in two sizes, so it's 250 ml and a larger bottle at 500 ml. I set up the company 18 months ago because there was no Irish beetroot juice on the market. It was being imported from predominantly countries in Europe like Germany and the UK. And I had a perfect opportunity to start making Irish beetroot juice because my dad and my two brothers are tillage and vegetable farmers in County Offaly, say the heart of Ireland. So with that, I started producing this. So the beetroot, as I said, is grown on the home farm, and there's no pesticides used in the making of in the growing of the beetroot. And what I press it with 30% apples from a Tipperary farmer, so a local county close by. So it's actually just two ingredients. It's all very natural. It's 70% beetroot, 30% apple. People might ask, why would you drink beetroot juice? For a whole host of reasons. First of all, it's considered the Irish superfood, so it's definitely one of the best vegetables that you can juice. People up to this point, or a lot of people would know the research carried out worldwide associating drinking beetroot juice and reducing high blood pressure naturally. Outside of that, a lot of athletes drink beetroot juice globally to enhance their performance and aid recovery. So they're two of the key benefits of drinking my juice. Apart from that, if people drink beetroot juice, just if they're conscious really of their health and of their nutrient and mineral uptake. So it's full of iron. It's a source of protein. So it's very suitable for vegans who are conscious of their protein intake. A 250 ml bottle is the recommended retail or recommended intake of protein as per the nutritional analysis here is just short of 10% of your daily needs, and it's a source of folic acid, which everybody needs folic acid in their diet. So it appeals to a whole broad spectrum of people. People might also ask about the taste wise. Some people might be dubious about the taste of beetroot. They might have their own ideas about being very earthy or whatever. But in fact, it was awarded this year two stars for its taste. One was the Oscars of Irish food, which is the Blossom Heron, and it won an award back 3 weeks ago. So that will be on its new label. And it also won a Great Taste Award this year, which is a stamp of excellence, essentially. And it's an international awards. It had over, I think, 12,500 entries this year from over 106 different countries across the world. So that, I think that would capture the audience and to suggest that, it's the taste is there. It's based on taste alone, outside the fact that it's a healthy product. So the key things is that the beetroot for my juice is homegrown on our family farm in the heart of Ireland, and the beetroot's grown pesticide free, and it's a multifunctional juice, I suppose. It's a refreshing taste, it's good for you, but also you can use it in your cooking if you're wanting to add it to some of your dishes. Some chefs use it. I know lately one of the head chefs in Ireland, Eric Matthews, was adding it to some of his dishes. So it's multi-purpose. You can also add it if you're a non-drinker. And I know there's lots of people out there that don't drink wine or don't drink gin or don't drink alcohol. But they might be in the company of people who do, and they might like an alternative beverage outside of your average soft drink, and something that's good. So you can add it to some sparkling water and some ice and have an alternative, refreshing, healthy juice. So that's really the main story around my juice, and I'm open to questions.
That's great. That's great, Anne-Marie. Thank you so much, and thanks for all of that background. And certainly, health is a main concern for everyone right now, more so I think than it's ever been in the past. And with the vegan community growing, throughout, the Western Hemisphere at a pretty rapid rate, as well as the rest of the world. It's so important to know about these products. I think we'll hold on questions right now and come back to that at the end, if that's okay with you. But thank you very, very much for that excellent description and presentation. So next, I'm going to move on to Conor Ross, and Conor represents Conceal Spirits, and Kinsale is an ocean on the ocean side of of Ireland, and so has therefore the sail, I think, as part of your logo, Conor.
Shark fin.
And certainly much like Tipperary that Anne-Marie described. Kinsale is a very, very beautiful place. So Conor, with that, I'll let you talk about your company and the whiskey and all of the exciting opportunities that you have as part of the company for those interested.
Sure. So thanks, Maureen, for the opportunity to speak about the brands. So we're actually in the process, as we speak, of landing our first product into the States. We have a tenancy agreement with Western Carriers in New Jersey. So as we speak, the container is docking, or in the next few days docking there. So we have a container full of our gin and whiskey. So the first product is Summer Cove Kinsale Gin. That's what it looks like. It's based on the Kinsale Gin product that's available here in Ireland. multi-award winning gin. We've won double golds at the Bartender Spirits Award, Producer of the Year. We've won World Gin Award. We've won various awards last year. So many awards. It's a very celebrated gin, and it's doing really well in Ireland. We have distribution with people like SuperValue, Centra. We have a lot of independents, pubs, travel retail. So we're hoping to replicate that in the States. We're looking for distributors. We're looking for retailers, principally, independents, multiples, the whole lot. At the moment, things are difficult in the on-trade because of the way COVID has struck, and depending on the outcome of the election, we don't know whether it's going to be maybe more of a lockdown in the States or less. So that could affect a lot of on-trade sales going forward. So it's important that we have an online presence, and we also have an off-trade retail presence. The second brand we're launching, which is just launched in Ireland as well, is our whiskey, which is Red Earl Irish whiskey. So it's a triple casked, finished in Rioja, blended Irish whiskey. Again, it's just launched, but it's already started to win awards. It's a great whiskey to sip. It's aimed at younger drinkers. It's aimed at, as well, new drinkers to whiskey. I'm a long time whiskey drinker, but I have to say one of the things I'd always look for in a whiskey is something that you can relax with. There are plenty brands out there where you can have a challenge or have something stronger or cask strength, but it's important that in the current market that you appeal to younger drinkers, female drinkers, and that the whiskey works neat on the rocks in cocktails. So that was part of the brief when we were putting together, when we were blending the different types of whiskies. So as I say, both are landing at the moment in the States, and we're looking forward. We have some distributors already, but as you are well aware, it's a vast market, and every state from an alcohol perspective is very different. There are controlled states, there are free and open states, you have places like Washington, DC, you have counties. So any help we can get from people is much appreciated. We're also doing an investment round at the moment in Ireland, and that's getting great traction and feedback. That's it, really. Happy to take questions at the end.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for that description, Colin. And we will definitely be back to you with some questions at the, as we move toward after, everyone has had a chance to talk about their products. But thank you for that. And being a novice, spirits drinker myself, I hadn't realized that about some of your products. So I'll have to make sure that I share that with my friends like myself who might be a little bit more novice in those categories as far as their expertise. Okay, so moving on to a really exciting new company run by a couple of people who are chefs and know the culinary industry well. I'd like to introduce Gavin Cassidy to talk about his company, Porter and Nash. Thanks so much for being here, Gavin.
Thanks, Maureen. Well, yeah, my name is Gavin. I'm the co-founder of Porter and Nash, an Irish company founded by two professional chefs with over 50 years combined experience, including in that is 2-star Michelin restaurants. We manufacture innovative, nutritious, and premium quality plant-based gravies and sauces that contain nutrient-dense Irish seaweed. Research from Borbia, which is the Irish Food Board, suggests that no other sauce range currently exists on the global food retail and food service market. So, as everyone knows, in recent years, phrases such as vegan, vegetarian, flexitarian have become more popular in everyday conversation. And globally, people are becoming more aware of the advantages of having a plant-based diet or are trying a flexitarian diet. Like the global demand for plant-based foods has dramatically increased over recent years with the introduction of Pacific Isles within grocery stores that cater for the growing vegan and vegetarian section in the market. Our research has shown in the US, the plant-based market is growing rapidly. There are over 20 million
that looks better. That's me on now.
Trying to eat plant-based diet.
Hello?
as well as providing for the vegan and vegetarian customer, the Porter and Nash range offers many USPs that will appeal to the wider demographic, particularly the health conscious, as our products are fat-free, with low sugar and salt, and made with a gluten-free recipe. We have 3 products: the original root vegetable gravy, slow roasted garlic and thyme sauce, and caramelized onion and balsamic sauce, with another 6 flavors and marinades in development. I look forward to engaging with any of the companies who would benefit from having the Porter and Nash brand in their portfolio. So I'm not too sure what's gone on with the screen, because I'm missing some people off it. I'm not too sure whether you can hear me or see me, but these are our products. Hopefully you can see that's our original root vegetable gravy. This one here is our slow roasted garlic and thyme sauce. And this one here, our caramelized onion and balsamic sauce. As well as providing for that vegan and vegetarian customer base, the Porter and Nash sauce range offers many USPs which will appeal to the wider demographic, particularly the health conscious, as our products are fat-free, low sugar, and low salt, and made with a gluten-free recipe. So if anyone would like to talk and discuss further our products, please let me know. Thank you for listening. And hopefully everyone has heard that, because I'm gone blank on my screen.
Oh no. well, I'll tell you, we can, Gavin, we can hear you, and that was a really wonderful presentation. And certainly to all of us who are trying to stay healthier and committed to that, I think that really resonates with many of us who are listening right now, but also with buyers who are actively working to source new and healthier products for the retailers.
Yeah, and they're so versatile. They're a cooking sauce, they're a finishing sauce, they're a pouring sauce. We recently launched it into a couple of butchers in Ireland, and one of the butcher's wives has weaned her daughter onto solids with our meat sauce, with our sauce, with our vegan sauce, and the child loved it. So it has a good audience, and it's suitable for a lot of cuisines.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for a terrific presentation. And we didn't lose you. We didn't lose you at all, but we did have a lot of activity on the screen while you were talking, and some folks who were not, who are on the panel who have just joined. So so we're going to come back to you as well as the rest of the group with questions at the end. And I'm going to ask right now Helen Troughton. Helen from Armagh Cider Company. Glad we can see you now, Helen. And we'd love to have you share with us information about the company.
Okay, yes, I thought it wasn't going to happen there for a while, but I'm here. Okay, Armagh Cider Company, well, we're a family business. We're based on our home farm here at Ballintaggart. The farm has been in the family from 1898, so there's a lot going on, and orchards have always been part of the farm. Apples were grown for years and years, and then and cider, making cider. We talked about making cider again for years, as had my husband's father before him. So anyway, in 2006, we eventually took the plunge, and we brought cider back to Armagh. Up to then, it hadn't been made in the area for a long time. So our first cider was a dry cider, and I don't know, can you see this? This is our Carson's, and dry cider, and we followed it 4 years later by Madden's. So we have the two of them. Now, both of these carry the logo, the PGI logo for the Armagh Bramley apple. Armagh Bramley apples are grown here, and that guarantees that we use them. So therefore it guarantees that it is definitely an Irish product and nothing else. So that's great. But as well as that, today we also make a Molly's Mull cider, which is the winter warmer. We also have a Doyle's range, which is with flavours. This one here is Doyle's with honey. Now, I'm jumping about here, but awards. Our Carsons and Maddens have won Great Taste Awards, 1-star, 2-star, gold medals in the International Cider Challenge. Our honey also got 2 stars and also won the British Institute of Brewers and Distillers gold medal. So yes, so the ciders have all done very well that way. In the Doyle's range, we make dry, medium sweet, as well as summer fruits, dark fruits, and honey. Now, the important thing about our ciders is that all our ciders are made on our farm from Lawson to the bottle. They don't go anywhere else. So the apple doesn't leave the farm till it's in the bottle, ready to go. They're also unique in that, as I say, we use the Armagh Bramley apple. They're made from fresh apples. We don't use any concentrates. We don't use any chemicals or artificial bits and pieces. They're also all, well, as I say, naturally made. They're gluten-free and they're suitable for vegetarians and vegans. And because we do everything, we can therefore guarantee the consistency and the quality with nobody else to blame. So the buck stops here. And as I said to you, they already have won lots of awards in Blasnair and Irish Food Awards. This year we got 2 silvers, 3 silvers and a bronze. So we do all right, we keep going. Apart from the ciders, we also make apple juice and apple juice drinks, which is our apple juice, which we call AJ, and our orchard twist range, which are juice drinks. And we have a large farm and we also have springs and spring water. So this year we started to make tonics. And so we now make tonics and soft drinks. In our tonic range, we do a premium tonic, we do a light tonic, we do lemonade, we do ginger ale. And then again, we just brought out flavors, and one of the flavors is cucumber mint. This also got a silver in Blasnair this year. So hopefully they'll go on. As I said, they're just brand new to the market. We're also now doing a cloudy lemonade, a pink lemonade, and an orangeade. Everything done here. So that's really it. Also, another little thing we do, we invite visitors onto the farm to see what we do, see where it's all made. And last year in 2019, we won the award for the most authentic tour in Northern Ireland, and that was awarded by Tourism NI. Many of those visitors come from the United States, and they always ask, where can we get your products? Because they're saying they've never tasted cider like it and that sort of thing. So that is why, one of the reasons why I'm talking to you today, and hopefully we can encourage some people to give us a chance and try some of our products. So that's really about it. What I would say is, to end, we make premium products. We feel they're competitively priced, and I'd like to meet with potential stockists. We promise to offer our consumers, we always offer our consumers, authentic, completely natural drinks with genuine provenance and heritage behind them that deliver on quality and taste. Now, all you need now is a little sample to find that out. So please, I look forward to questions later.
That's super. Thank you so much, Helen. And we'll be back to you with questions after everyone's had a chance to present. So thanks for all of that great information. And now, so why don't I go to Conor Meehan. Conor is with New Infusions Limited. Thanks for joining us today, Conor, and I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thanks a lot for the introduction, Maureen, and thanks for organising this as well. It'd be great to meet you all in person, obviously, but such as the times that we're in, so this works very well, I think, at least. But yeah, I'm from a company called New Infusions. I'm the co-founder. We launched just in December 2019. This is our product here. So we're the first company in Ireland to sell a tea called Guayusa. So Guayusa, it's tough word to pronounce. It's spelled Guayusa, and it is a caffeinated herbal tea from Ecuador. So it's a little bit popular in the US at the moment already. If you know a company called Runa, you might know them. They're an energy drink company. This is the basis of their energy drink, and they used to sell a range of teas. They've since stopped selling that tea. And we think there is kind of a gap in the US market for reintroducing actual tea version of this product. So what is special about Guayusa? Well, as I said, it's a caffeinated herbal tea. It has similar levels of caffeine to coffee, but the main difference is it doesn't give you that kind of jittery, sort of sometimes a bit anxious feeling that we can get when we drink too much coffee. I for one, never drank it because I always got that, and my co-founder used to drink it a lot. But as we started to drink this, we found that kind of just disappeared, and you have much more, it's a slow release caffeine. So there's much more focused kind of energy. It's great for working, great for people who are studying a lot, and also for sports. So that's kind of the main kind of interest in it, but there's a lot of other health benefits as well. It's packed with antioxidants, so it actually has more antioxidants than green tea, which would be one of the main reasons that people drink green tea. So we think that's a very strong selling point. One of the antioxidants is called chlorogenic acids, which in the US is quite popular for people who drink green coffee. That's the main kind of active ingredient in green coffee. And guayusa actually has similar levels of chlorogenic acids. We just got back recent lab results to say that. So that's also a very kind of interesting selling point for people. Another is that it's very low in tannins, so it's a uniquely smooth tea. So you don't actually really need to drink it with any milk or any sugar. You just drink it straight. So I have a little cup here, as you can see. That's been brewing for a while, so I'll put that aside for now. But it doesn't really get bitter even if you brew it for 20 minutes, half an hour. It's uniquely kind of smooth in that way, in that you don't need to add any sweetener. And then apart from that, there's a very interesting story behind it. So it's actually a tea that's been drank by indigenous communities in the Ecuadorian Amazon for over 2,000 years. It's been a really treasured part of their culture. They get up every morning, drink it together as a way to kind of start their day. And it's only really in the last 10 years that it's been exported internationally, starting in the US for this energy drink company I mentioned earlier. And it's just making its way into Europe now. And we think there's growing popularity in the US as well. And what's kind of interesting about it now is that it's offering opportunities, economic opportunities to indigenous peoples who farm it. And sometimes those things can also result in deforestation when there's demand for these kind of foods. But what's unique about guayusa is that it's grown in a biodiverse farming system. So it's actually indigenous farming systems they call chakras, where it essentially looks like untouched rainforest, where different crops are kind of grown together in a way that kind of mimics the biodiversity of the region. So it's also doing a lot of benefits economically and environmentally for the Amazon region as well, which is something I think people are becoming more and more aware of. So yeah, that kind of sums up the basis of it. We have 3 different blends. So this is our guayusa mixed with cinnamon and cacao. So they're all organic certified. This one has a very kind of rich flavor, a little bit chocolatey, and then we have mixed with peppermint as well. And they're all available in biodegradable tea bags. So like this, these are all fully biodegradable. There's 3 grams of tea in each. So that's a little bit more than most. Each will give you kind of a little bit less than the caffeine in a cup of coffee, which is kind of what we found people want. They want to cut down their caffeine consumption, but not get rid of it entirely. So this is kind of a way to sort of step down your caffeine consumption, but still have some caffeine in your day. Yeah, we would love to speak with different distributors and retailers in the US. We think there's a growing demand for this kind of tea. And yeah, we would love to send you a sample and you can try it for yourself. If you're looking to reduce your own coffee consumption, you might even become a customer. So yeah, we'd love to have some questions from you at the end.
That's terrific, Conor. Thank you so much. It's you know, clearly there's a theme here which is resonating through all of these presentations, and I'm sure that our audience is capturing. You know, I began and I talked about, you know, how proud I am to work with each of you. All of these companies, you know, quality and sustainability are so important to Ireland and to Irish products, and I know that that's coming across as part of these presentations. So thank you all for that. And now I'm going to turn it over to Stephen Dillon. And Stephen, last but certainly not least, we're going to talk about, you know, we're going to have you talk about your innovative Irish drinks company, RTM. So I'll turn it over to you now, Stephen. Thanks so much.
Thanks very much. Hi, guys. Great to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. Delighted to be able to join. Well, it's 3:30 here in Ireland, so I'm going to have a gin and tonic. So cheers. But actually, this is an alcohol-free gin and tonic. So I'm the founder of RTM Beverages, which is a drinks innovation company. I've been involved in the drinks industry for over 15 years. And really where RTM plays is in the no and low space. So cheers. So this is my first product, which is Nokian Co, which is, as I said, an alcohol-free gin and tonic. So basically, we were looking at the market and consumer trends within the global drinks industry, and we saw that this increasing demand, or that the more people were effectively drinking less and less alcohol for a myriad of reasons, for health reasons, for religious reasons, just for healthier lifestyles. So we launched Nokian Co as an alcohol-free gin and tonic, and the reaction was pretty phenomenal. Lots of people started contacting us, looking to stock it, and we sell quite a lot online. Shortly after launching the classic gin and tonic, and really what we're trying to do here is replicate the taste of a great gin and tonic, but just without the alcohol. So if you're in a social setting, or if you're at a party, or if you're the designated driver, you can have a sophisticated drink, but with no alcohol. Shortly after that, we launched our pink version, just in time for summer. So this is a alcohol-free pink gin and tonic. And then just before lockdown there, and as COVID broke, perfect timing, we launched our Juniper Edition, which is our, I suppose, this is a pre-mixed version of a gin and tonic. So you can just open it and pour and add with ice and dress it up in a nice gin and tonic glass, add a slice of lemon. This then is maybe more for more theatre. If you wanted to make a gin, alcohol-free sort of gin type cocktail, you'd add this, or add this to your own tonic. So that's our Noki range. And the other drinks that we make in our portfolio is Loki and Co. So as I said, we operate in the no and low spaces, and no being no alcohol and low being low calorie, low sugar, low carb. Again, very on trend with consumers globally. So Loki, which means low is key, is Europe's first hard seltzer. So as we're talking to an American audience now, I'm sure most of you are very familiar with the hard seltzer trend in the US. It's kind of caught the drinks industry by storm and is now a multi-billion-dollar category. So we launched Europe's first hard seltzer in 2017. It's fair to say that folks over here didn't really know what hard seltzers were, but some of the big brands from the US have just launched in Europe this year. So we're seeing a real uptake in inquiries and demand for hard seltzer as well. So it's a really exciting time for the business. We're a small company, we're a young company, but we're really kind of, we dig very deep into consumer insights and try to develop innovative products that fulfill consumer demands. We're talking to some potential distributors in the US, but would love to have further conversations with anybody who's interested in either our alcohol-free portfolio, and we've more products and brands coming on stream, or indeed our hard seltzer. There could be a good opportunity for a European hard seltzer in the USA. So happy to take any questions later, and thanks again for the opportunity to be here.
Well, Stephen, it's great to have you, and thank you for that presentation. Certainly a lot of, once again, great products that I know retailers in the audience and buyers in the audience are going to want to talk to you about, just like the rest of our panelists. So at this point, I would like to turn it over to some questions. And I have some questions for each of you, and then a few general questions that we have in front of us right now. Helen, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah. Okay.
So Helen, I know that you mentioned that your apples have PGI status. You know, would you talk to us a little bit more about that and what that means to your products and the quality of the products that you're producing?
Yeah, sure. In 2012, Europe gave the Armagh Ramley apple PGI status. Now that means it's protected geographical indicator. So it actually puts our apples on the same level as Champagne or Parma ham. And in order to acquire that status, the apples have to be grown within County Armagh. Now, County Armagh is also known as the Orchard County of Ireland. So it just makes our apples that little bit more unique, just gives them that little special name. And therefore, that's why we're very pleased to be able to use that logo to denote that on our bottles, because it guarantees the provenance. It guarantees that it actually is an Irish product. And the apples are grown in Ireland. So, and that's what it's all about.
Great. Thank you for that.
Okay.
I know others are probably seeing it in your in your profile, and so I just wanted to make sure that everyone,
yes.
everyone understood the significance of what that means.
Perfect. Thank you.
To your products. So thanks so much for that, Helen. And now I'm going to Anne-Marie question for you. Your family, you know, has been in the farming business since 1957, and you've been able to produce just an amazing, you know, product as a result of the quality of what's happening, you know, on the farm and how you're growing products there. Can you talk to us a little bit about the changing, how the farming industry has changed over the years and the focus that you and Feighery Farm have had, you know, around, you know, quality and the quality of the products that you're producing?
Okay, Maureen, thanks. Yes, as you rightly pointed out, farming has changed over the years, and I suppose it goes back to adding value to the farm. So as I said, my dad and my two brothers are farming at home. My dad started farming since 1957, mainly at the time cereal crops, but in the latter couple of decades, vegetables alongside that. So they have, as I said, decades of experience growing crops. In the last couple of years, they would sell at various farmers markets based in the heart of Ireland. And it was just a great opportunity to use one of the vegetables in particular to diversify, I suppose, in one aspect, and to create a product that we could sell directly to retail. And actually, a proud moment in the last 2 weeks, I won the Irish Women in Agriculture Awards for my product, and it was to do with innovation around food and drink based on the family farm. So that gives you the encouragement to keep going and to know that, you know, what you're doing, you're on point. And I think with the product that I developed, as we spoke about what's on trend globally, people are looking for healthy drink choices as opposed to having to reach for, you know, soft drinks, very artificial drinks. And this is a way of boosting their overall health, be it, you know, their immunity because it's full of antioxidants and full of vitamin C, but also just general well-being and health and having a refreshing drink outside of that. So to be able to produce that from the crop that grew on the home farm, that's the story, I suppose, behind my product, and it makes it all the more special.
Absolutely. And congratulations on your recent award. That's very, very exciting. And I'm sure, you know, like all markets, you know, Ireland has a competitive, you know, market in the food and beverage categories. And when it comes to winning awards, you know, the team that we have here knows something about that. But they're not easy to win because the competition is dense. And so Anne-Marie, really congratulations to you on that recent award, and thanks for sharing that with us. I'm going to move on now to Conceal Spirits and to Colin. Couple of questions for you, Colin. In the audience here at the America's Food and Beverage Show, we have not just US representation, but we have representation attending the show on the buying side from both Canada and Latin America. Have you thought about those markets? I know you're just starting to penetrate into the US, and you know, what are your thoughts about the Canadian and Latin American markets? You know, do you have a vision for those markets for Conceal Spirits?
Well, I suppose yes, we've had, I suppose, brief thoughts about them in the sense that we're trying to walk before we start running. So we were keen to get onto the continent first and then move from there, maybe, even though they're completely separate markets, obviously. Because we had existing links and I have some business interests in the States, it was an obvious move to start with the States, besides the fact that Irish whiskey exports to the States are huge. There's a route to market, you know, and the Irish diaspora and many Irish people have relations there. 40 million Americans claim Irish heritage and all that stuff. Canada is obviously an up and coming area for Irish products, particularly because of, again, more recent emigration from Ireland. So it's a very interesting market. It's probably more homogenous than the USA because, you know, it's more like the USA is like 50 individual countries, really, when you're dealing as an importer or exporting into there. So yeah, we're very interested in looking at Canada, and it's very early in the stage. So we're looking at a potential import partner, potential distribution partners. We haven't done a fact-finding mission to the country yet. I mean, I've done a bit of legwork in the States already. Besides, you know, tourist trips, been there a number of times on the Conceal Spirits business. So been looking for the opportunities there. And then with regard to Latin America, it's completely untapped. We've had a couple of random inquiries, but it's very early days, but very interested in, there are niches everywhere, you know, no matter what country you go to, like we were talking about earlier, there's an Irish pub, or there's an Irish enclave, or an Irish association, or an Irish club, and you know, you can do quite well. And there's a lot of countries where people haven't really been introduced to things like Irish gin, where they don't even know what they taste like. So they're all kind of pioneering markets, we'll say, but very interested in the whole continent, and very interested within the USA then in gaining more distributors and particularly retailers. So open to all opportunities, I suppose, like everyone here on the panel.
Super. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for sharing that with us. I know there's been a big program around Brazil and what's happening as far as the agriculture and food and beverage industry in Brazil as part of the America's Food and Beverage Show. And you know, Brazil happens to be one of the largest consumers in Latin America of Irish products. So I'm assuming that for you, Colin, and for each of our panelists, I think that there'll be some interest coming out of Latin America and certainly from Brazil, I would assume. So thank you so much for that. And likewise, there's been a big focus on Canada and the Canadian panel. So we again, you know, I think that hopefully there'll be opportunities for each of you to discuss with various companies from both of those regions. And then I know we're running short on time, but I think I have time to get through just a few more questions for those that I haven't asked a question of yet.
Maureen, I wanted to add one other thing about from buyers in Latin America and the Caribbean and Canada. We will keep your companies on our website, and we're going to be promoting everybody who's participated in our virtual platform the entire year, not only through the newsletter, but through our buyer campaign that we're doing to generate buyers to come to our physical show in September in Miami Beach. God willing, if COVID, you know, the COVID things subside, that's what we're doing. So there'll be a constant promotion. And what we want to do is we want to feature the Irish Pavilion in our newsletters and in our website. So we'll be doing that. And I'll be reaching out to you, and my team will be reaching out to you guys for comments, pictures, and things, and get more information on your products.
That's terrific. Thank you so much for that, Ivan. And you know, and I don't, you know, you've mentioned you know, all of these, you know, ongoing opportunities to me, and I'm not sure that between myself and my team we've shared as extensively as you've just described just how this is taking. I think that's the really positive side of us having to all pivot to this virtual world and conference and show environment, which is that, you know, we would come together for a number of weeks. Typically we'd be able to meet one-on-one, but now we're not able to do that. But what we're getting as a benefit of not being able to do that really is this extended promotion that you're doing on behalf of the companies attending. So very grateful for that. And
the other thing is that if you guys have target buyers or distributors or wholesalers in the Latin American Caribbean market, and you like us to facilitate an introduction, please email me or my colleague Alice, and we will try and facilitate that for you, make that introduction. So, because some companies know who they want to meet, but they just can't get to the right person. And we're in the market, so we can probably do that through various ways that we use our contacts, not only the World Trade Center Association contacts, but the ones that we've made throughout the years.
That's great. Thank you so much, Ivan. And I know that everyone has some ideas percolating around that. So because I've been asked about a few myself. So so I'm sure you'll be hearing back from us on that. Thank you so much. And just a couple more questions, and then I think we'll tie things up if that's okay. I wanted to move on to a question that I have here for Conor. Conor from New Infusions. Conor, can you? I know you talked a little bit when you described your teas about how they're different from some of the other beverages in those categories, being the tea and the coffee categories. But can you talk about matka and for instance, and coffee, and the difference in the other caffeine sources that people may select?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, what we kind of see guayusa as sort of in the middle between, let's say, coffee is kind of one of the stronger caffeine sources, and then there's the likes of green tea. So coffee will give you about 90 milligrams of caffeine per cup. Green tea is more like 45, and then a cup of our blend with 3 grams is about 70 milligrams. So it's kind of just the upper end of mid-range in terms of caffeine content. But it's also a different type of caffeine. So there's a lot of research being done recently about the interaction between the caffeine and the catechins. That means it's a slower release caffeine. So it lasts kind of a lot longer. You don't get that kind of spike that you sometimes get with the coffee, or that crash. It kind of comes in more slowly and leaves more slowly the effects. And there's actually been studies done recently where there were human double crossover trial where they gave people 200 milligrams of caffeine through guayusa and through green coffee extract, and they showed that they had the same kind of responses in terms of dopamine, things like that, but the response for adrenaline was much lower, was 6 times lower in guayusa. So that's why you don't get that jittery feeling. Is essentially your adrenaline kind of kicking in, and with guayusa you get those benefits like dopamine increase, but you don't get that kind of jittery adrenal kind of feeling. So I think that's really the main difference between guayusa and then coffee, and then also between guayusa and other sources like matcha. I think matcha has grown in popularity a lot, but the one thing we find personally, and a lot of people we know, is the taste is kind of hard to take. And we kind of see guayusa as sort of filling in that space of alternative caffeine sources that are cleaner, healthier. But in this case, it also has a very appealing taste as well, which, yeah, I think that's kind of one of its main selling points, really. Okay,
that's great. That's great. Thank you. Well, very, very, very interesting for sure. And next, I have a question here for Gavin Cassidy from Porter and Nash. Gavin, thank you so much for your presentation, and certainly the products sound amazing and very, very interesting. The question that I have here for you is, in using your gravies with fish, poultry, or beef, is there a preferred category within those product types, and can you talk a little bit more about just the combination of your gravies with some of the traditional kind of entree type products?
Yeah, as you mentioned, fish. We have our caramelized onion and balsamic sauce. It has a slight sweetness to it. It goes really well with salmon, which is an oily fish. So a grilled salmon finished with our caramelized onion and balsamic sauce is a great combination. And then we have a white fish. So you're talking of the likes of Cape cod, or the more expensive ones, which would be the slow roasted garlic and thyme. A good combination is to have a creamed vegetable or so with that. For the likes of cooking, we have, because we have a low fat dish or a low fat sauce, you can pan fry a steak and or use a feeded sausage or whatever. It has a little bit of fat or so in it. and you can make a dish that's balanced, because we have the no fat and you can fry your steak. So by combining the two together, you're still making a balanced dish. So there's no added butter, there's no added oil, well, apart from obviously you're seeing your steak or your burgers or whatever. Yeah, so they are versatile. I'm talking about cooking. Like if you wanted to make a tagine, or if you wanted to make a ragu, or anything like that, stews, casseroles, like we have the perfect complement. So it finishes the dish for you. So when you're cooking with it, after you take it out of your casserole dish or anything like that, the sauce will be already made. You know, and it is plant-based. So we have it that it suits a lot of cuisines, and
Yeah.
it goes well with most foods.
That's great. That's really helpful. Thank you so much, and certainly a great answer for the question. And now I want to move on with a final question before we end this session to Stephen Dillon from RTM Beverages. Stephen, the question that we have had come in for you is around how you differentiate your products on the low carb, low sugar side of things as far as taste is concerned, because there's obviously a big audience interested in low carb, low sugar, but oftentimes, you know, the taste just isn't right. So what have you done to differentiate your products, you know, and change that so that, you know, the flavors don't have a lot of aftertaste like some of your competitors may have?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you very much. Well, I mean, I suppose my background is really in taste. I first kind of fell in love with wine, so a big wine background. So I mean, tasting wine and I did a lot of wine exams, and I'm also a qualified beer sommelier, and I love to cook, and so taste is really, really important to me. So I partnered with some global food ingredient companies who were actually fantastic, because I was a startup and I was kind of really amazed with the amount of support they gave me. And it took a long time, but from the get-go, I was determined that everything was going to be natural. So all our ingredients are natural flavors from the fruit. So they're all derived from a kind of cold press process from the fruits. And we don't use anything artificial, so it's natural sugars. And it's difficult. It's a real balancing act to just get, I mean, particularly with the alcohol-free products where we're trying to replicate a really good gin and tonic. We would maybe amplify the quinine a little bit to get that extra bitterness that you'd get from a gin and tonic, and then with the fruit flavors in the hard seltzers, which do contain alcohol, we use a really neutral wine base that gives us a kind of a blank canvas, and then over that we overlay really natural fruit flavors. So there's a sweet spot, and it takes a lot of trial and error, and we had lots of iterations, but we're absolutely delighted with the consumer feedback that we get on our products. They're light, refreshing, natural, and I've spent a lot of time in the States. My sister lives in Boston, my brother lives in Portland, and there are lots of kind of aspartame and artificial flavors and you know, I think consumers really looking for a more natural profile, and we're really proud of all the flavors that we've come up with. And as I say, we'll only ever use natural ingredients.
That's great. Thank you so much for that. And I you know, I think that you know, that was a very helpful answer to that question. Well, I think that completes our panel discussion. I want to thank each of our panelists from the World Trade Center Dublin for participating, and really for helping the World Trade Center Dublin to accentuate just really the pride that we have in our companies, in the products that are being produced, the sustainability, the stories behind them, you know, the quality of these products is just amazing. And of course, the innovation, which Ireland is known for, you know, for each of these companies, each of these entrepreneurs, you know, who have started these companies, you know, based on, you know, some family legacy or just some great ideas. They're amazing products, and I know I, for one, am both hungry and thirsty right now. So I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot of requests for samples and conversations And Ivan, once again, can't thank you enough for having World Trade Center Dublin as a sponsor for this year's show. We look forward to many more to come with you.
And thank you so much for participating in our first virtual America's Food and Beverage show. And hopefully we can see each other in Miami Beach next year.
Hope so. I'll look forward to meeting everyone at an Irish bar while we're there.
Yes, there's a nice one in South Beach, so we can do that.
I love it. Great. Well, thank
All right,
you, everyone. Have a great rest of the day, and look forward to being in touch with everyone again soon. Take care.
Thanks, Maureen. Thanks, Ivan.
Thanks very much, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.